Good evening and welcome to Tiger TV's special coverage of the 2024 election, Eye on the Election. I'm Cooper Dick.
And I'm Danielle Rancifer. Tonight, we'll be hearing from students and experts alike to hear their thoughts on this election. But first, let's take a look at what's on the ballot.
The main question on everyone's mind tonight is who will be the 47th President of the United States? Currently in the Electoral College, Donald Trump leads with 101 electors, while Kamala Harris takes second place with 71 electors. The swing states you really want to look out for tonight are Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. While election night is tonight, we really aren't expecting results from these swing states until well after election night in the next few days.
Now we're moving on to Congress. All 435 members of the House of Representatives are up for re-election, and 34 Senate seats are up for grabs. In the House party, the Republicans lead with 57 seats, while the Democrats are behind with 32 seats. While in the Senate, the Republicans are up with 43 seats, while the Democrats are behind with 34 seats. House is going to be close margins with new districts. Republicans defending New York and California seats, while Democrats have scattered Republican-leaning seats. Senate favors Republicans with more Democrats up for election.
The polls closed at 8 p.m. tonight. We're also waiting on the results for who will be the next leader of the capital city. Reporter Gracie Guillotte found out how many LSU students feel about the East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor-President election, even if they aren't registered to vote in Baton Rouge.
While 8 candidates are running for the position, all eyes are on current Mayor-President Sharon Weston Broome, Ted James, and Sid Edwards. But for LSU students not registered to vote within Baton Rouge, some may wonder if they even care about the local election. Go Vote's Emma Long says they definitely should.
They really do impact LSU, and they can bring things to LSU and to the greater Baton Rouge community that will help LSU prosper and stay prominent in the state and also in the nation. So it's important for that person to be aligned with our goals as well.
With 69% of students living off campus in the Baton Rouge area and 31% living in college-owned or operated housing, it's no surprise the next mayor will greatly affect the lives of these students. But Tajane Quite believes there is a bigger picture to focus on.
The community, the people that are here when we leave and graduate LSU. So it definitely does affect us, and it's definitely very important to research those things that they are endorsing.
Local elections lead into higher-level elections, which can make a large impact on the future as well.
What kind of gets lost in translation with, say, for example, the presidential election, people kind of say, why is it so close and why are these our candidates? You can change that the earlier you vote and voting at the local and state and federal levels.
So for students not informed or aware of local elections, nonpartisan organizations such as Go Vote and other clubs targeting minority groups can teach you not only how you can vote at the local level, but why it's important. For Tiger TV, I'm Gracie Guillotte.
If this primary election leads to a runoff, that will take place in December. Now, with things well underway in the Holiday Forum, we're going to take a live look at what's happening there. Right now, there are a few speakers that are expected to speak. We also have some games going on there. We will check back on there with reporter Lorena Patterson-Valian later in the night. College students are often referred to as the secret weapon in this election, and many of them will be voting for the first time. Reporter Peyton Manuel spoke with first-time voters to see what influences them to show up to the polls.
Louisiana representatives saw over 960,000 people cast their ballot early. And with the election at a close, they say they're expecting to have seen 1 to 1.2 million turn out on Election Day. Some of those who were in line included LSU students who also happen to be first-time voters. They say voting is important to every demographic, but especially to college students.
You don't really think about the decisions that happen that affect you, especially in a public university like LSU.
President of LSU's Go Vote, Emma Long, early voted at home and says oftentimes misinformation and registration conflicts cause first-time voters uncertainty when casting a ballot.
It is really important to kind of fight through those efforts. And what we've done, especially in Go Vote, is help people find tools to make that process seem less daunting.
What's also helping new faces at the polls are those I voted stickers to give a little bit of encouragement.
I think a lot of that is personal empowerment. Like just having that sticker on election day is like pretty cool. It's something that you can brag about. But I think for a lot of people, especially women and people of color who have had those access points to the ballot box stripped away from them, it's especially important for them to show up.
It's important to someone like Vice President of LSU's Black Girls Vote, Chloe Berry, who says voting is a privilege.
My family's from Mississippi and Alabama, and so they faced a lot of voter suppression. My grandparents were not able to vote because of where they were born. And so I wear it as a badge of honor to be able to say I was able to do the things that my grandparents weren't able to do.
Also a first-time voter, Berry voted early last weekend, causing her to feel even more empowered to spread the vote.
I think if students see that the people around them are also voting, if their parents are pushing them to vote, that's a strong consideration that gets people out to the polls. But I think more importantly, people vote if they feel represented.
Overwhelming at times, and in some cases feeling like an exchange, here's a hint. The exchange is your vote, and your vote is your voice. Reporting for Tiger TV, Peyton Manuel.
If you weren't able to cast your vote, you can find where and when to register for the next election at usa.gov. Louisiana's 6th Congressional District Congressman Garrett Graves is not seeking re-election. However, he did drop by our studio recently. I was able to sit down with Congressman Graves, who talked about local, state, and national politics all across the board. Hello, Tigers. Today, we are honored to have Congressman Garrett Graves with us in studio today. How are you, Mr. Graves?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, especially that you're here. It's so nice to have you here on behalf of myself and Tiger TV. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
Researchers have actually said that this is the most divided the country has been since the Civil War almost. So for you personally, how has it gone with reaching across the aisle, working on bipartisan bills, and just making those relationships better in your front?
Yeah, look, you raised an issue with sort of polarization or divisiveness, and I think it is one of the worst things that's happening to our country right now. Also want to remind you and anybody who might be watching, you know, if you go back and you look at what countries that I would call our adversaries or those that wish ill will on us, countries that have come in like Iran, like Russia, like China, you start looking at some of the tactics that they're carrying out in America. It's not coming in and necessarily threatening our military and things along those lines. What they've been doing is they've been trying to sow divide in the United States. And you look, just like you said, you look at this presidential election, you've got people that are so far apart on issues. And I mean, even family members, they can't even talk to one another right now because there's so much hype, there's so much anxiety about this election that if someone supports Harris and someone supports Trump, these people can't even get together. I mean, these are family members that are being ripped apart. So it's awful for our country. But look, the reality is that the only way you're going to get legislation actually enacted is by having bipartisan support. And just to quickly explain, look, you can be a majority party in the House of Representatives and all day long you can pass bills out. But in the Senate, under the rules of the Senate, effectively, for virtually any bill, you have to have bipartisan support. The Senate requires a 60-vote margin, which the number of times when you've had one party with 60 votes or more, I mean, you can count them on one hand. It's very, very rare. And so you've got to have bipartisan support. And look, as much as I may disagree with someone who has a significantly different ideology, I respect the fact that they were elected. I respect the fact that they represent 750,000, 800,000 people like we do. And so, look, I'll go sit down with those folks and obviously try and find the folks who we have more things in common with, but may go with a list of 10 things I want to do for our community and may walk out with 4 of them that we agree upon, but that's 4 more than we have today. And so it is an important part of the process. And lastly, look, let's look at the makeup of our federal government today. You have a Republican majority in the House of Representatives, you have a Democrat majority in the United States Senate, and you have a Democrat president. So anybody who thinks you're going to come in and just tell everybody what to do, they're going to be up for a rude awakening, because that's not the way it works. You have 535 people in Congress and a president, and you've got to figure out how to work together to get things done. It's not about compromising your ideology or principles. Mm-hmm. It's about figuring out how you're going to get those 4 things done, and then coming back and figuring out a plan for addressing the other 6 later.
And I know a lot of times people look at bipartisanship as giving up on what they believe, on what they're trying to do here. So how do you deal with some of that backlash? Because a lot of people, as much as they want to get things done, they want to stick with what they believe more than anything.
Well, look, you know, I'll give you a football analogy. Here we are on campus. So look, I will bet you that every single play, LSU would like to make a touchdown, right? When they have the ball, they'd like to make a touchdown every single play. But the reality is, there are a group of people that are there to prevent that every single play, called the defense, the other team that's there trying to stop you. And so, you know, look, the LSU and every play they will try, they will hope for a touchdown. But if you get a 2-yard advance, if you get a 4-yard advance, if you get a 15-yard pass, that is all progress towards your touchdown. And those are positive developments. And so I think you have to look at legislation similarly. Look, we don't have a monarchy. We don't have a situation where one person comes in and says, this is the way it's going to be. We don't have a communist dictatorship. Millions of people died and sacrificed for us to have this form of government, where we get to elect our leaders, get to elect our representatives. And we've designed this very unique and successful structure of government, but you've got to work through it. And so, you know, I'll say it again. If I come to the table and we have 10 priorities for this community, and right now, none of them are being accomplished. And I can sit down with bipartisan members of Congress and work out a plan to advance 4 of those. That is 4 things we're going to get done that aren't done today. It's not about giving up on the other 6. It's figuring out, how can I get as many of these items addressed as we can, and then come back and figure out a revised strategy for these remaining 6. And that revised strategy may have to be wait for another election and a different chemistry in the Congress, or it may be you coming up with a different strategy, a different approach, different partners. But you're never giving up on the ultimate goal of a touchdown. It's just figuring out, how do I recalibrate, how do I come up with different plays on how to advance these other objectives.
Thank you so much for joining us in the studio today, Mr. Graves.
Oh, thank you. This has been great.
We'll be right back, Tigers. Stay tuned.
Get Gordon and get it done. Yeah, everybody know Gordon in a 225. He done link with Big Foe. He got buku ties, Ferrari sliding, flying in a new coupe ride. And every time I ride by, I see a brand new sign. I'm with Gordon. I know that he gon' get it done. Whether it's a big truck crash or a hit and run, recovery funds, he fighting to get a ton. Mike Epps, man, we all about the Benjamin. Handling injuries, man, are you kidding me? Gordon McKernan, that's champion energy. Yeah, family man with a family plan. Get Gordon, he gon' fix it like a handyman. Get Gordon and get it done.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Feel bad?
Yes.
Oh no, I don't feel bad. This is the art.
The Purple Room podcast is back. And now we're live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Run by passionate students, the Purple Room delivers all the latest LSU sports and culture.
Join us for great food,
cold drinks,
and for a chance to win free loaded cheese fries.
The Purple Room, the ultimate pregame podcast party.
Live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical to save the day. From electrical issues to keeping you comfortable, plumbing repairs, and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, your one-stop solution for electrical, AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call or visit us online at southernairbr.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of the 2024 election. We do have some updated results for you coming in. First off, in the presidential election, Donald Trump has gained more electors with 137 electors in the Electoral College, while Kamala Harris is catching up with 99 electors.
In terms of the House and the Senate, Republicans still lead in the House with 75 seats compared to the Democrats' 51 seats. They also lead in the Senate with 46 seats compared to the Democrats' 35.
While official election results are still some time away, we are going to take a look at what voters thought about the election overall. Reporter Courtney Evans has more on the story.
That's right. With voting time coming to an end, here are the different thoughts, perspectives, and concerns that the divided generations have.
I'm going to say the younger generation because I feel like it's going to affect us in ways we don't know. But the older generation, it's probably going to have certain effects and things of that nature.
The younger generation, because we're the future. We're the ones that have to live in this world for the next probably 4 or 5 decades. So we're the younger ones. The older generation, they're used to the older mindset and the older ways. So
keep watching, keep supporting what you believe in. Make sure what you believe in. You be accountable for what you want to say. Don't hold it back. Open your mouth. Continue to express your opinions and continue to vote for whoever you want to be in there.
Study the politicians that you're thinking about voting on. You know, don't make a harsh decision based on your friend's opinion or anybody else's opinion. You know, this is your decision, your life going forward, and it's important. You know, this election is very important. So I would keep that in mind. Make your own opinion. Don't let anybody else sway you.
As we continue to gather more information, remember that exit polls are just a shot of voter starts, and the election results will tell the full story. For Tiger TV, I'm Courtney Evans.
Now that we've heard from some of the voters, let's ask the experts on their thoughts about this election. Tonight, we are very fortunate to add the voice of a very esteemed political analyst to our election coverage. Here with us in the studio is Charlie Cook, founder of the Cook Political Report and chair of the political communication here at the Manship School. Mr. Cook, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, well, let's get straight into it. For many students, this is their first presidential election they fully paid attention to. What should students be looking out for in the results?
Well, first, there's no places that have been like truly contested, you know, that there was doubt that's really in yet, so we don't know a whole lot. But I think if you're going to look at a couple of things, you might look at, does Trump lead among men more than Harris leads among women? And keep it in mind that like 52% of the vote is female. So, but it's to see what kind of margin there. That's a good place to watch. But you know, we're going to be watching the 73 or the 93 electoral votes in the swing states, and I think Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania would be the three I'm watching the closest.
So you mentioned the swing states, and many of the swing states saying that it's going to take multiple days for us to get those election results. And this also happened for us in 2020. Now, is this our new norm?
Yeah, I think what's different is if you're in a local election official, you're going to dot every I. You're going to cross. I mean, these poor people were like traumatized after 2020, so they're going to be really careful. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this be a little longer. I mean, if I were a local elected official, I would go slower than I had 4 years ago. And the thing is, they actually do a good job, and recounts actually rarely turn over results, but they're going to go really methodically because nobody wants to be treated like that.
Yes, of course. That's totally understandable. And elections like that, where it's very highly contested among constituents and among those in the government, those recounts and the way that they count those votes are especially scrutinized for those people. So it's really important that they do that.
Yeah, and the thing is that there are lots of things our government doesn't do particularly well. Actually, administering elections, for as little money as we spend on running elections, I'm not talking about campaigns, but elections, it's remarkable how close they really come. And you know, I know a lot of people get all excited. They think, you know, voter fraud and all this. You know, we have lots of problems in this country. Voter fraud's not one of them. I mean, it really isn't. But, you know, I think you've got people that, and it's true in sports and everything else, it's like there are only two outcomes of an election. Either I win or I've been cheated. That's it. There are no other, you know, and that's their approach to life. And you see them at football, basketball games, and you see it in politics, unfortunately. But it's just sort of where we are as a society now.
All right. Well, I want to turn now to Congress and the House of Representatives. We saw Republicans only hold just a 3-seat majority. Now, I know there's been a lot of redistricting now for this election. Are we going to see kind of those same very slim majorities going forward?
I'd be very surprised to see more than a single digit seat net change in the House one way or the other. And again, we haven't had any contested races that have been settled yet, but you know, when you have 435 members and the majority party's at 221, you know, 218 is the barest majority. Wow. I mean, that can really go either way. And you know, one seat's obviously here in Louisiana that was redrawn as a result of a Voting Rights Act case, and there's another one in Alabama. So Democrats sort of pick up two there, but there's some Democrats that are vulnerable other places, and so we have no idea where this is going yet. We'll have a better idea in a few hours.
In terms of the Senate, the Republicans are up by a high majority right now in the Senate. So can you really explain to us what it's going to look like when we see that Senate flip and having Republicans in the majority?
Yeah, you know, the House, the country's evenly divided, and the House reflects the country. But the Senate, only a third of the Senate's up every 2 years, and it matters which third, who they are. And this is a map that's up this year that's just an awful map for Democrats. I mean, they're defending 3 seats in states that Trump carried twice, and 4 more that Trump carried once in 2016. And very few people split their tickets. And so this is a map that the question was going to be, how many seats are Democrats going to lose, not whether they're going to lose their majority in the Senate. So they've already lost West Virginia, so it's 50-50, which we knew that was going to happen. But if Republicans only have 51, I'd be really disappointed if I were them. 52, 53, 54 is probably about as high as they can go. But, you know, in the Senate where that matters a lot. And and obviously, do you have divided government? Do you have unified government? That's a big deal.
All right, well, after the break, KLSU reporter Claire Hambryce is joined by the president of LSU College Republicans and vice president of College Democrats. We'll also check in on the party in the Holiday Forum. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
And get it done. Yeah, everybody know Gordon in a 225. He done link with Big Foe. He got buku ties, Ferrari flying in a new coupe ride. And every time I ride by, I see a brand new sign. I'm a Gordon. I know that he gon' get it done. Whether it's a big truck crash or a hit and run, recovery funds, he fighting to get a ton. Mike Epps, man, we all about the Benjamin. Handling injuries, man, are you kidding me? Gordon McKernan, that's champion energy. Yeah, family man with a family plan. Get Gordon, he gon' fix it like a handy. Get Gordon. And get it done.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Feel bad?
Yes.
Oh no, I don't feel bad. This is the art.
The Purple Room podcast is back. And now we're live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Run by passionate students, the Purple Room delivers all the latest LSU sports and culture.
Join us for great food,
Cold drinks,
and for a chance to win free loaded cheese fries.
The Purple Room, the ultimate pregame podcast party.
Live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical to save the day. From electrical issues to keeping you comfortable, plumbing repairs, and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, your one-stop solution for electrical, AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call or visit us online at southernairbr.com.
Welcome back to Eye on the Election. I'm Claire Hambryce with KLSU, and joining me in the Presidential College of Republicans, Kelly Sullivan, and Vice President of College Democrats, Hamoud Qureshi. We are going to jump right into our interview with a number of issues ranging from inflation to crime and the mayor candidate race. What do you believe is most important to students in this election? Hamoud, we'll start with you.
I think that the most important election that the most important issue that we're dealing with in this election is the environment. It's really been a big problem, and it's gotten a lot of attention over the last 20 years. And these candidates have totally different views on what they want to do with the environment. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what different styles of leadership they bring to that specific issue.
Okay, thank you for that. Kelly, what's your take on it?
I believe that the most important issue to students in this election would have to be the economy. When I started college, gas was not more than $2 a gallon. Most of the time it was less, and now it's pushing $4. Rent was a fraction of the price when I started college, and I think the inflation rates have gotten so far out of hand, and I believe that that's incredibly important to students.
Okay, thank you for that. Tuning into more of selected questions for our Democratic side, Hamoud, do you think having two major Democratic candidates will potentially hurt the party itself in this mayor race race?
Yeah. I think it's definitely going to be interesting, but I think it's overall not going to hurt the party because the big cities in Louisiana tend to lean a little bit more blue. And I think having two candidates is going to split the vote in the primary, but by the time we hit the runoff, we're going to get one of the two, and it'll buff out.
Okay, and leaning towards our Republican side, Kelly, the polls are showing Republican Sid Edwards is now in third place. Do you think, or do you feel at all that he could possibly make a runoff and win at the end of this?
Never discount the underdog. Everybody loves an underdog. I'm always optimistic, and we'll just see what happens when the night ends.
Okay, well, thanks for that. And to wrap up, given everything that you both have shared and the values that you stand for, what sets your party apart from each other? Kelly, we'll start with you.
Well, I think that Republicans genuinely do. We have a little community amongst ourselves. We care about each other. We care about the community. We care about the economy. And we care about America as a whole.
And what is it that you stand for?
I stand for back the blue, yeah.
Okay. And Hamoud, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I think what's really important about the Democratic Party is that we're a big umbrella, and we care about everyone underneath that umbrella, and we want to push America forward as a whole, and nobody's going to be left behind. We want to push this nation forward, both here in America, but also worldwide, and I believe the Democrats are going to really push that if they win tonight.
Okay, so now we're going to head out to the Holiday Forum. On our own, Lorena Patterson-Bellion is there. Lorena?
School of Mass Communication Dean, Miss Kim Bissell. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for interviewing with us. So can you tell me what y'all have on the agenda for tonight's event?
Absolutely. So it's really early in this election night watch party. We're going to have Charlie Cook, who's one of the most renowned political analysts and pollsters in the country. He'll be coming to speak. We're going to have games. We're going to have trivia. We have coloring. We have food. We have all the things. So if you're not here yet, make your way on over. We've got a lot of exciting things ahead.
Fantastic. And it looks like y'all have a huge turnout. Were y'all expecting this many people?
We capped at 250 registrations, and I think we've hit 250 registrations. So it's really exciting to see so many students engaged and expressing their right to vote.
That's amazing. So can you tell us how important you think the college vote is for not only national elections but local elections as well?
It's an excellent question. I think that the answer is the college vote is critical because you are the future. You are the future of the country. And when you go out to vote, you are making known what you want to have in your future. So having college students voting, that's what we need.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, so can you tell me the importance of having this event at the Journalism Building in the Holiday Forum?
Well, I'm honored to have this election night watch party here. Our students are the students that tell the stories about elections and campaigns, and we have students in political communication who are running for election tonight all over the United States. So it's just a true combination of all of our different areas and what we embrace and uphold in the Manship School.
Awesome, great. And so can you tell me, do you think that, holding this election watch party will be inspirational for the future journalists, people in PR, all that stuff that the Manship School covers?
how can you not be inspired by all of these students and all the excitement and the enthusiasm? It's really fun to talk to students who are voting for the first time tonight, and I think it's very inspirational, and I'm just bubbling with enthusiasm.
Yes. Well, this seems like a great thing that y'all have going on here. I'm excited to see how the rest of the night will go. Reporting live for Tiger TV, I'm Lorena Patterson-Vollian.
Thanks, Lorena. When we come back, Tiger TV, KLSU, and the Reveille will break down poll numbers and hear from opinions from students here at LSU after the break.
And get it done. Yeah, everybody know Gordon in a 225. And he done link with Big Four. He got buku ties, Ferrari sliding, flying in a new coupe ride. And every time I ride by, I see a brand new sign. I'm with Gordon, I know that he gon' get it done. Whether it's a big truck crash or a hit and run. Recovery funds, he fighting to get a ton. Mike Epps, man, we all about the Benjamin. Handling injuries, man, are you kidding me? Gordon McKernan, that's champion energy. Yeah, family man with a family plan. Get Gordon, he gon' fix it like a handyman. Get Gordon, and get it done.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
You feel bad?
Yes.
Oh, no, I don't feel bad. This is the art.
The Purple Room podcast is back. And now we're live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Run by passionate students, the Purple Room delivers all the latest LSU sports and culture.
Join us for great food,
cold drinks,
and for a chance to win free loaded cheese fries.
The Purple Room, the ultimate pregame podcast party.
Live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical to save the day. From electrical issues to keeping you comfortable, plumbing repairs, and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, your one-stop solution for electrical, AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call or visit us online at southernairbr.com.
Welcome back. We are here with Claire Hambryce from KLSU and Cross Harris from the Reveille. But first, we do have some election updates we want to give you. In the Electoral College, Donald Trump expands his lead with 178 electors, while Kamala Harris is staying just at 99 electoral votes.
In terms of the House and the Senate, the House Republicans lead with 86 seats compared to the Democrats' 62. And in the Senate, the Republicans maintain their lead with 46 seats compared to the Democrats' 35.
All right, so over the past few weeks, Tiger TV has been conducting an interview amongst LSU students for their thoughts on the election, and we have those results here for you right now. So our first question was on the presidency. 48% of students said they will be voting for Trump, while 42% said they will be voting for Harris. Do we think there are any surprises here in terms of these results for presidency at LSU?
I definitely don't. Louisiana is a majority Republican state, and a lot of students that go to LSU actually are from Louisiana in itself. So that majority Republican vote doesn't surprise me at all, but the high number of Harris voters does shock me just a little bit. And that third party, I know the third party doesn't get a lot of attention, but even that 1% does stand out to me.
Alrighty, and next up we have that 90% of LSU students said that they are planning to vote in this election, while just 10% said they will not be voting. Now, Cross, I want to ask you, I know the Reveille has been putting out plenty of stories on voter engagement here at LSU. That 10%, do you find that surprising?
I don't. In fact, I think the fact that you've got 90% who are voting is heartening. For a lot of LSU students, this will be their first time voting. Will be their first time voting in a presidential election. So I think 90% registered to vote is a really solid number.
Now, in terms of the economy, we look at it and it says that 7% believe that the economy is on track, while 75% say no and 18% are unsure. Now, Claire, have you seen that there's a large influx of students being increasingly worried about the economy? Has there been a lot of serious discourse about that?
I definitely would say that, you know, the economy, it is such a big issue and students definitely have a take on it. And, you know, I wish it was students were more involved in this issue, but, you know, I mean, this really doesn't surprise me.
Yes, now moving on to the issue of crime. 95% of students said that crime is an issue here in Baton Rouge, while nobody responded that crime was not an issue in the city of Baton Rouge. Nationwide, 93% said that crime is an issue, while 3% said that it isn't an issue. So I wanted to ask, just for all of us here, you know, it seems like a lot of people are very worried about crime. What are y'all's takes on this?
I think it's very rare that we have an issue that the entire nation can agree on. And although it is crime, it's very telling that for everyone, no matter what socioeconomic status that you're in or what position you are in life, that crime is a big deal. And that we have local government really not taking a closer look at crime statistics and issues that these citizens are dealing with. So whether it be positive or negative, I think that we can definitely agree that the take on crime needs to be dealt with.
And I want to ask you, Claire, I know KLSU has done a series of interviews with mayoral candidates.
Yes.
This high response into crime being a problem, do you think that hurts Sharon Weston Broom's re-election chances?
You know, that's a great question. I definitely think interviewing these candidates gave us a great insight on who is really looking to solve this problem. And, you know, looking forward, I don't know. I don't know. I just hope that this is an issue that whoever does get elected mayor, they take it into serious consideration and it goes down.
Now, one of the biggest issues for this election has been abortion. So it says that for 59% of people believe that government should protect the right to abortion, while 24% that they should believe that they should ban it, and 17% believe that this is a state issue. Now, abortion, however you feel about it, it has incredible power in terms of voters, and how candidates stand on this issue describes what kind of voters they'll be. So, Cross, I actually want to ask you, have you seen discourse about this among students? Has it become very, like so much turmoil between the voters, and how has it affected the discourse between people who are voting and between the candidates?
Yeah, absolutely. I've interviewed students about this, and I've found that students who are voting for Harris believe their vote is a vote for women's rights, and abortion is the big ticket item on that slate. We're living in a very different world since the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So abortion is a state issue at this point, and obviously the polling shows a lot of people feel really strongly, a lot of students at LSU feel really strongly that women should have the right to abortion.
And I think that is definitely surprising, considering that Louisiana is such a red state. And so seeing that most students are looking at the right to an abortion for so many people, it really highlights that there can be a difference between someone's political standing and their beliefs on personal issues.
All right, now the next issue we do want to look at is immigration. When we asked students about whether or not they would support the border wall, 86% said yes. When it came to mass deportation, 77% were in support. And when it came to stricter immigration laws, 86% said that they would want stricter immigration laws. Obviously, people here at LSU are very worried about the problem of immigration. They want the country to be a bit tougher on the border. Are there any surprises there?
I mean, I definitely think that such a strong viewpoint is surprising considering that Louisiana is not close to the Mexican border. But I also think that the issue of immigration has been one that has been full of turmoil, no matter what side of the party that you're on, and that there is room for compromise for both of these parties. You really want to look at how can we make stronger immigration laws for those who want it, but also how can we allow for immigration for those who are in favor. And so the issue of immigration has become increasingly black and white over time, and we, I think, as a nation need to figure out how to make it less so. So there's room for compromise for whichever side of the aisle that you stand on. Do you guys have any thoughts?
I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, I think the fact that there's such a large percentage replying to that question on the poll saying, you know, yes, illegal immigration is a problem, yes, I support the border wall. At the same time that you look at the polling that shows, I believe it was 48% of LSU students were voting for Trump, 42% were for Harris. It shows you that, yeah, there are plenty of people who are voting blue who still believe that immigration is a problem. Yeah.
Alrighty. The final question we want to ask is related to foreign policy. Now, when it came to the issue of Israel and Palestine, 45% of LSU students say they support a two-state solution, while 34% were unsure. And when it came to the U.S.'s involvement, 33% said the U.S. should get involved, 42% said no, and 26% of students were unsure. Now, I know we've seen a lot of recent demonstrations by the Students for a Democratic Society here on campus. And Cross, I know the Reveille has done plenty of interviews with them. Do you think that these demonstrations are getting more students to talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think especially last semester we had a lot of student demonstrations about the war in Palestine and Israel, and there was a die-in. I mean, it seemed like almost every week there was a demonstration. So absolutely, yeah, it's raising discussion.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much for listening. With an election that carries so much weight like this one, all others present many with the opportunity to vote for the first time. This rings true for many students here on campus at LSU. Reporter Cassidy Trepanier took a closer look at this.
I voted for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
I'm a libertarian personally, so I'm voting for the libertarian candidate, Chase Oliver.
I will be voting for Kamala Harris.
For Donald Trump.
I'm voting for Kamala.
Trump.
Kamala.
Today, it's about putting your voice out there.
I think it's very important to exercise your right to vote. I think that it's very special that we get that opportunity, and it's our rights and we should use it.
I agree. In other places, like being this age, you might not get the right.
I feel it's very important, but here in Louisiana, I already know that the state's going to be red, so I don't think it's as important here as it is in other states.
I respect my rights as a woman and all these other women out here, and certainly afraid of what Trump would do in office.
I voted last week, so I feel like exercising my right to vote, I've done it pretty well.
Good, because it's America.
Because I don't feel like anybody who needs federal assistance need to be voting for Trump.
So most of my family is very conservative.
I think that growing up, it kind of just created a standard, and my parents kind of explained like why they felt the way they were, but they never pressured me to think what they did, and I kind of was able to learn what I believed in and what views I had on my own, and then luckily it was just the same. So I'm lucky for that.
Yeah, my family is the same way. I guess just kind of where we're from, like most of us are the same, but my entire family, like we all think the same.
I think it's extremely important. We're the new generation. We're all just now up and coming, able to vote. And no matter who you're voting for, I think it's very important that your voice is heard.
Every single vote counts. I know you hear it a lot, but every single vote counts.
At the end of the day, it counts for something, so why not get it out there?
Although we may differ in opinion from each other, the one thing that we can rally around is the fact that voting is important, regardless of who you support.
When talking about LSU, we cannot go without talking about football. LSU head coach Brian Kelly spoke about how important the election remains within the program as well.
I know that our players, when we've asked them to be involved in the community, they have been on it. We took the time to ask them to vote and register to vote. So my expectations are that they're pretty tuned into how important this election is, and every election.
So Danielle, we've just about reached the end of our time here on the air. As always, it's a pleasure.
Of course, Cooper. For those at home, make sure to stay up to date with our website and social media.
That's right, Danielle. If there's anything I can leave our audience with as we go tonight, take this. Regardless of who you vote for or who comes out as the winner of this election, don't let that change your perception of others. Embrace debate and respect your neighbor as well as your own. We're one nation. United we stand, divided we fall. For Tiger TV, I'm Cooper Dick.
And I'm Danielle Rancifer. Good night.